women's football, and this is exactly what we want to see. It's not just something we want to do now, we want to do it continuously and also inspiring that new generation. Malawi, being the defending champions of this competition, they won their maiden title. This was last year. Can they defend that title? Everyone talking about the omission of the Chawinga sisters, but I think apart from the omission, everyone can draw inspiration to what this competition has done specifically for that golden boot winger, as we do know that she is someone who's plying a trade out in Europe. So as a nation, we can truly be proud, and I hope that all the other ladies who are playing within this competition will certainly be inspired. This was the arrival of Malawi, coached by Coach Lovemore. Malawi, a country that is known for the warmth and the friendliness of their people. As you can see, it's nothing but all smiles, a new crop of players who are hoping to rise to the occasion. Singing and dancing, certainly, but not something that we saw within this change room. This is Botswana. They were fairly quiet, but they're locked in. If you remember back in the year 2020, that is when they came up as the runners-up, and their coach, that being Basimani Bohle, is the man who was the assistant coach back in 2020. This year, does he have what it takes to take them all the way? A nation that is known by so many people right now because of the Olympics. Tebogo Letsile went all the way for gold. Will this crop of players be able to clinch the COSAFA Women's Championship for the very first time for their nation? Only time will tell. They're using this competition as preps for the Africa Cup of Nations. Let's go to the coaches and find out as to how they have paired up. They know each other fairly well. It's Coach Basimani Bohle for Botswana and Coach Lovemore for Malawi. This is what they had to say prior to this encounter. Coach, welcome to your first game of the COSAFA Women's Championship. Everyone is talking about the omission of Chawinga sisters. How has that impacted your preparations?
It haven't having any problems with that, and we always had the plan B for that. So yes, they're not with us, but the other local players that we have at the moment, I think they're good as well. They're ready to perform better. So we're not worried. We're not having any problems with that.
You talk about the local players that you've now brought in. What did the victory and the success from last year do for women's football in Malawi?
Yeah, it was good for success last year. And out of local players who are here today, we had them last year as well. So they have experience at the moment. So we still rely on them. We're happy with them to give us positive results.
How much pressure is on your side knowing that they are defending champions?
Yeah, pressure is always there. When you are defending champions, pressure is always there. Every team wants to win as well this year. But we are here to defend the cup. So that's our objective. That's our motto.
Let's talk about the sisterhood that you have in your team. They're currently singing and dancing as opposed to your opponents.
Yeah, this is the morale that they're supposed to show to the opponents, because it's showing that they're not afraid. They're ready for Botswana anyway, so it's good for them to do that. It's at least raising the tempo of the game for themselves.
And Coach, how have you prepared for Botswana? Which parts of the game are you hoping will shine for Malawi?
Botswana is a good team, tough team as Zambia, South Africa, but our preparations, because we knew the fixture that we're going to meet Botswana, so we are ready for everything. Tactically, mentally, we are ready for them, because last year we had also similar opponents, South Africa. So we also prepared for South Africa last year. The same way we prepared about South Africa, we have also prepared for Botswana this time around. So we are ready for Botswana. It's a new team. We played against them 2022, so we are ready for them.
Well, Coach, all the best.
Thank you very much.
Coach, welcome to COSAFA. This is a very important start for you. You go up against defending champions. Is it at the right time?
Thank you very much. I think, yeah, it's at the right time. We're definitely going to play them either way. We're in the same group. We know enough about them, but the only challenge we had, they didn't play enough games compared to us. So teams grow over time, so we are yet to see what has changed, what has not changed. But in terms of the setup, the tactical approach, we don't expect a lot of differences. Chawingas are not here, so it also brings a different aspect to the approach of the game. Yeah, let's see how the game goes.
You talk about who they're missing. Botswana's missing a Tolagele, but you have Moseja within the squad. Let's talk about the omission of Tolagele first.
She's a very important player for us, and you know, I spoke with her this morning. She started rehab, which is good for us, and we are hoping that she'll be ready for WAFCON next year. She forms a very vital part of this group. So yeah.
This competition you're using as preparation for the WAFCON. Let me know what success looks like for you in this competition.
For us, the first challenge is to win today's game against defending champions. We know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. Offensively, the last tournament they proved to be the best. They scored 19 goals in 5 games, which says a lot about them. And we have done our assignment. We know how they can hurt us if they haven't changed much. Because, like I said, teams change over time. So for us today, we have to get the points, and we take it from there.
Coach, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Well, the stage is set this afternoon for our Group E match at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium. It is the two teams that promise to give you the thrills and the spills as we welcome, that is Botswana and Malawi, for this crucial Group B match. It is the first game in the pool. 20 degrees Celsius is what the weather conditions are, and not to deter the fans who have come out in their numbers to witness this encounter. This is the second home to the Malawian side that are the defending champions. One is expecting that they will go over and navigate this one without a hitch. However, they are definitely in rebuilding phases. No familiar faces like Zemwa, and we do know that Malawi associated with players like Tabita. Look at players that have come through the ranks and have represented Sabina Tom, another name that comes lingering to my mind. But more than anything, as the players are being led out to the park for the customary greetings. Malawi in their familiar red uniform, looking absolutely energetic. They're up against the stripes of Botswana. That is the Zebras in the blue and white.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We'll
please
just have
stand
the
for the
national
national
anthem, and then
anthem
we'll
of
get ready to
Malawi.
rumble.
And now, national anthem of Botswana.
national anthem with such emotions, you must know that you're getting into the zone. When we talk about getting into the zone, it brings everybody present. Those that are far and wide, wherever you are, thank you for joining us on this wonderful occasion of the Women's COSAFA Championship, the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champion. It is 2024, and South Africa welcomes one and all to these shores of Gqeberha, and this is where the action is taking place. Beautifully prepared pitch. Here's the starting lineup for Malawi. It's Mrs. Sikelo, Faith Chinzumu, it is Patricia Nyirenda, and not forgetting Lina James, Vanessa Chikupila, Letitia Chinyamula, it is Mary Chavinda and Caroline Matoya. Benedette Mkandawiri is another one of those players that should give us the fireworks. Love Moore is the coach, and looking at a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, looking at a 4-2-3-1 formation. Certainly defending champions want to assert themselves. Very good on the offensive, looking at players like Chavinda, Chikupila as well in that front. Simwaka with his speed will be very impressive this afternoon.
Talking about the team pictures, this is one to be kept in the cabinet. This is one to be kept on the walls of all these players. But here is Botswana, on the other hand, getting into a huddle. But Botswana, who have come onto our shores and graced the occasions, they are just neighbors. As we have a look at the officials for the match, it's Ntebogeleng Sitoko, Lumbizai Mutsawa, and Claris Simango. Chipfo Mayimbo Messi from Zimbabwe. Those are the players in charge of this match, and the captains of the day. It's Sedilame Posija, Sundown's goalkeeper, and she has Patricia Nyirenda on the opposite end, who is the captain of the side. This match, as we have a look at the lineup for Coach Malete, it is Maitumelo Posija, it's Kesehofetso, Mochawe, Violetsi, Manjo, Laone Hafetuve, she's been around, Michelle Abueng, that's a new face coming in, Ketumetse Ditebe, Val Loitani Johannes, and Laone Molloy, a capable and able bench to go along with it. Players like Mapunga. You're also looking at a 3-4-3 formation.
Yeah, a 3-4-3 formation for Botswana. Certainly challenging themselves a step further where formation is concerned, being brave with a 3-woman defense, overloading that midfield, but certainly looking at Abueng as a reference as a top striker.
Well, looking at the top striker as the players get into the huddle. What do we say in Botswana? We say Dumelang. And here they are, as one would look at the Malawian players also getting into a huddle, and their coach speaking nothing but sweet music. So if we're talking sweet music, you are about to dance this afternoon. We are about to get the wonderful presentation as we have a look at the coach of Botswana. That is Alex Malete, who is the coach, and he is one of the new faces in the technical team. But good to see Radio Kanya as well. What a player that is. On the opposite bench, Lafmo Fazili, he is the coach also looking after the Flames. It is time to burn the flames and make sure we get underway. And off we are. I have alongside me for this afternoon's match, Amanda Dlamini.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Super excited for the second match of Group B. A very interesting group, by the way. We saw a very entertaining encounter in our first matchup. We saw Madagascar just being a lot more stronger than Mauritius, but here's an opportunity for Malawi, the defending champions, to really showcase what they're about, and Botswana to really put up a good challenge.
When we talk of Malawi, we talk of football on the rise. When we talk of Malawi, we talk of teams that have come out from nowhere. We look at the young players that have been produced from an Asset Academy. You're looking at players from Dopwa Queens. When you're looking at players from Silver Strikers, that is the makeup of this team. The DNA is a team that wants to play possession, that wants to be very businesslike. Watch out on the pace that they possess. With then look at Botswana on the other hand, abundance of experience, a number of mature players in the side. When I talk about maturity, Masego Moncho comes to mind. You're also looking at players like Khofense Mochawe, they come to mind. Not forgetting Nancy Bayeletsi. So this is going to be one of those very, very tight games. Are we going to see 4, 5, 6, 7? Definitely not. This one is going to be as tight as they can come.
Tight as they come indeed. A very closely contested match, I presume and expect, simply because of the quality that both teams have shown, but also the quality of players that they've produced. They just keep advancing a step higher.
Advancing a step higher. This is the team that South Africa has a love-hate relationship, taking them out of the Olympics, and as continues to squeeze the South African public or football-loving people. The kind of football that they play, very organized. Also can put it onto the floor, almost a own goal, and Letitia Chinyamula there just not taking any prisoners and making sure that safety first comes to mind as that ball is whipped into the box. Keeper Masisikelo going the one way and Chinyamula going the other way.
Yeah, choosing for safety first, but this is the kind of match where you can't afford mistakes.
Ball whipped in. First corner of the match to Botswana. That ball still lingering in the air as Nancy Bayeletsi tries to get a hold of that. But it is Malawi who will have this ball away. These are the defending champions and therefore demand the respect and should be given the respect they deserve. Away. Looking for the very lanky Mary Chawinda, who plays a football for Rayanda in Rwanda. That is, as the ball goes over the top and the first offside. Looks like Botswana's doing it all. They got the first corner, they now get the first offside.
Yep, it's important to really start well. A slow start will not benefit them. Good ball over the top from the defender, just bypassing that midfield. Not too sure about that offside.
Well, when Amanda says she's not too sure, you must know she's sitting on the fence. And what do we do with people that are sitting on the fence? We get the sling and we shoot. There's a player just missing out on that. Mary trying to get a hold of that ball, doesn't really get a hold of it, instead hacks it away as Tanda decides she will bolt, she will be very patient. Here's that pace that would come out from the right hand side, and the press from Botswana. They are a team that definitely loves to play with the mid-block, forcing the oppositions at time to think twice. When you look at the attacking play as well, Botswana do have the players with the pace and the brain and the skill, but not to be left out, as Malawi on the other hand will do the same. Tumamina Caroline Matola, she plays for Silver Strikers, and she too has got that wonderful pace about her, as they use a goalkeeper to great effect. Goalkeeper who is in goal, Masisikelo. She wasn't part of in actual fact, she was part of the 2023 COSAFA team, in which she only kept one clean sheet, and that was up against Eswatini, conceding 6 goals in that particular match. And, how does the goalkeeper ball in the box? Missed in the air. Has a chance! Oh! That is the warning sign that is given pretty early. Mercy Chavinda. Oh, she's taking out the bullets. She's taking out the big bullets. She is a player that plays for NASA big bullets, and look at that connection. Keep up, Osage. That's why she's Sundowns #1.
Absolutely.
Experience coming to the fore.
Absolutely. She does really well to parry that one to safety. But great build up from Malawi.
Malawi showing early glimpses of what they can do. Osage organizing it. That ball just getting a bit of a curve, the wind also coming and being a little devilish in this match. Malawi captain, in fact, Bilirani Malora, who had advanced into that attack. You can actually see the jersey of Osija, showing that the wind is very strong and they playing with the back against the wind.
That's why some of those coin tosses are so much contested, because that wind does have an effect.
And let me also just show you that Nkubeka can also turn around when you think that you have been favoured in the first 45. The window is on your side in the second half. You could even get a double dose, and depending on your luck and how natural elements of the weather benefit you. There's a chance for Malawi, and it's a shot from Lina James, also another Big Bullets player, FCB, NASA Big Bullets. That the coach has come here, he says, I'm afraid of nobody. And you can see that the players have been given instructions to shoot on sight. But Botswana need to be very cautious and not give too much of space, not give too much of room. Ranked number 153 in, on FIFA rankings, that's us at the 16th of August. Botswana, 32 by CAF. Close down. That ball just finding a red shirt instead. Here is Asimenya Simwaka. She's a soldier, is Asimenya Simwaka. She's a soldier and she plays her football out. Not only is she a soldier, that is an athlete. Oh, so for Botswana, they're going to have to be careful. They're going to have to put on their running shoes and keep up with Asimenya Simwaka. It's a long ball. You can see that Malawi simply enjoy playing those long balls as well, because they really have the faith and the belief in their athleticism and knowing that the players possess the pace that they need.
Yep, they want to have that patient build up, knock it around in midfield, just to suck in or draw in the opposition, to leave those spaces for the likes of Samoka to show off their pace. But it's in the quality of what they do in the final third. Is the cross accurate enough?
You've got to bring in the quality right now, given the responsibility is Chawinda to get that ball into the right areas, nice and tall, nice and firmly built. That is Chawinda, needs the quality, but it's on the ground and connection just on the edge of the box, not paying dividends. That ball just skidding off the right boot and going all the way for a throw in. Malawi pressing a little bit high. Botswana struggling to get out of their half. Johannes will be shepherding and protecting that defense. And Moncho on the left and the right hand side, Mukhabo. Botswana playing with three defenders. One has to be very, very careful of the spaces that will lie behind Johannes and Muchawe. That would definitely be exploited by the pace that one gets to see. But Radio Kanye and Ditebe up front, they need to support Abu Wang, who is the new kid on the block.
Yeah, but also very important in their defensive organization, just to drop or just play a little bit inverted when they're out of ball possession, just so that they close the spaces in between.
Yeah, most definitely just cut it a little bit and maybe narrow the ground and frustrate the opposition. But more importantly in this match, one thing that I can assure you is that the person who organizes their defense very well, the team that makes sure that they win those midfield battles, and the team that will have the most yellow cards, that is associated with the fouls and the tackles that one would see. That one is what I'm talking about.
Yep, but we cannot be raking up the number of fouls.
There we go.
Should be counting the number of goals.
There we go. But then again, you're looking at Lesego. They know how dangerous Lesego Radio Canyo is. And that's when the coach says, put a comma, dish dash, ha, turn around. Let's see what happens. Can they turn around? Here is Botswana. It's a high ball. It's in the air. Good control by Muchawe. Botswana look at the price when Violetzi's got the ball, put it to the ground. They've really opted for experience. On a mission is Botswana. 10 minutes on the clock. 0-0 the scoreline. There's a throw in. The advanced position, but it goes out. Trickles over the line for a goal kick. Sicho When you go to sleep, they remind you the reason you are playing, and when you look at that move, just making sure that her presence is felt, and it is Johannes, who is one of the experienced players as well, that has come in. One hasn't seen much of Ketumetse Ditebe. Well, for me, I call her Doba Doba. Hey, that's Ketumetse Ditebe. It's a name she earned when she was in Malawi. What a fantastic player. Protects the ball very well, knows how to find the back of the net. Intercepted, going all the way back. Good composure. Keeper being brought into the equation. That's procedure. Header. Referee doesn't like. That challenge as we have a look. What do they call it? Head and kick.
Definitely adjudged for a high boot then to the face.
Referee so make sure that players are 10 yards. It's Teresa Sitoko of Lesotho, nicely supported by Musawa from Zambia and Simango from Zimbabwe. Fourth official is Mercy Mayimbo. So we have a look at that ball being intercepted. Ball in the box, header away over the bar. Over the bar. Now she gets a high five from her teammates for making sure that that ball doesn't reach a procedure. Ms. Brenda Kunda of Zambia is the match commissioner. It's going to be one of those matches with very small margins for error. Procedure. Ball in the box, procedure comes out, gets a hand to it. She's out of her position, but quickly gets back into it. Header, ball is in the air. It's Malawi that keep the pressure on. But questions been asked as the ball is hacked away by Radio Kanye, just to allow Botswana to breathe a little bit. Let me just warn Botswana. You know when you have a hand on your throat and they press you? Just imagine that. They press you on your throat. That's what Malawi will do.
Suffocate you literally into a choke slam. That's what they call it in WE.
So be careful. WWE, says Amanda. And well, Malawi will certainly use any tactic that they have to make sure that they defend their crown. They fought for it after a very, very long time. Look at the last 5 editions of Botswana. It came out fourth in 2019. 2020 was a year when you got to see Botswana football going up, and that was when they were runners-up to South Africa.
And I think I've just been so impressed at their trajectory as well, making their first time appearance at WAFCON 2018 and going all through to the quarterfinals. And then again, their first time appearance at the Olympics, so they are certainly on the rise. And this is where we started out with Botswana, myself included, playing against Botswana at COSAFA.
There you go. Just letting the cat out of the bag. You know, when you look at Botswana and you look at Gaborone United, that was the team that represented Botswana at the recent CAF Women's Qualifiers, Gaborone United. For the Malawian side, you had Asset Dakar Academy. Well, there's certainly, I'll come back to that. Here's the moment, and player goes down, and very decisive, pushing the player away from the goal and forcing that for a corner. Some strong defending by Onelwe Tanda.
Yeah, she had to be really strong, as Vanessa just uses her body very well to try and shrug her off. She gets an important touch to get that one to safety.
Well, it was Vanessa Chikupila, the player who was very troublesome in that particular moment. Let's have a look at the corner. They're going to have to sweat very hard, because one thing that is certain is that Ms. Procedure in goal has got an abundance of experience. We're talking about her 12 international caps, but not only that, on the continent she's definitely been the goalkeeper to go to for Mamelodi Sundowns, has been part of the Champions League, and has really acquired a lot of experience. And at the moment, she's got the #1 jersey.
Yep, #1 jersey indeed, and you can absolutely tell what an environment can do for you. And she certainly raised her hand and grabbed the opportunity to be even in the same squad as the likes of Andile Dlamini, Africa's #1. I think for her, she has shown signs that she has the potential to do so.
You know, talking about that, she had a test of character when she was injured, was out for most parts. I think that was the first edition of the Champions League. Did well to dust herself and fight for a position, and hasn't looked back ever since. Lovely steal in that midfield, but both teams are guilty of giving away possession. You can see the technical ability, the tactical ability, the two coaches thinking on the bench. This is going to be a chess game. We spoke about the fine margins. I'm concerned though. Mercy Sekelo, she's going to have to play like a keeper sweeper. She's available for Patricia Nyirenda to just play that ball to her, forced backwards by Kiptumiti. High ball, chases on. Mokgabo. Allowed to go to sleep. Just when you think you could connect a good couple of passes, but here is Nina James on the edge of the box, inside the box. And it's Botswana that win it back. The recovery rate is absolutely important. When you lose the ball, how quick you get it back. Still in the air, Bobley, connection. Malawi players not communicating very well, and that deflection will give a goal kicker to Botswana. Goalkeeper, rightfully so, says, let's calm it down. There's a frantic pace about this match, and also you can see that the two teams are going at each other with everything they have.
Yeah, and to Mary's frustration as well, she is telling her teammates, let us calm it down. They had a couple of opportunities as the ball was just being tried to be cleared. They could have had a second bite to it, recycle the ball. It's just about composure once you get into that 18-yard box.
As that ball continued to rise, and that just allowed Botswana an opportunity to organize defensively and have stayed true to their three defenders. Still finding it very difficult to break the wall. The wall of Jericho. Sharp player that made sure that Malawi weren't quick off their balls. Just stood in front of the ball, and she was adjudged to have used her hand. That again would, if I ask Amanda, she'd say, not sure. But it touched the shoulder.
I'll say the referee's decision is final.
Goal kick, Malawi. As that goes on, you can see that the strength is being pitted against each other, looking to settle into some sort of rhythm. Another free kick. Trying to stretch her legs, and just being bundled out. That's Bernadette Kandawiri. Running out of room, and the referee says, I don't like that. Just come back. I don't like that. Here's Malawi. Here's the pace. And again, that was $1 million save to get that ball away from Bernadette, in actual fact from Mary Chawinda. Or is it Asemenya Simwaka? Hey, let's look at this. Initially, that ball just getting, it's Asemenya. We spoke about her athleticism, and you can actually see that if that was a little bit longer, the distance that is, she would have stretched those legs as Asemenya.
I think she's just waiting for an opportunity. As soon as they thread it, she's on a bike.
Yeah. I never said it. Amanda says on the side of the pitch you've got to have motorbikes to keep an eye on the Simwaka. That's for the defenders, that is, and I'm sure players like Moncho as well as Mojabo will say, bring them on. I think we need them. Intercepted in the middle of the park where Benedetta is operating. Another long ball, another one asking much of Chavinda this time, but Procedure, who's probably going to be very much like a keeper sweeper, he's got to be alert, he's got to snuff out the danger, because one thing that is very clear is that Malawi have got the pace up front. It's another long ball, still bobbling in the air. Hospital toss. Run was being made on the left-hand side, but this is Botswana on the right-hand side. It played right, need to get the numbers. And again, that ball just tied it up by Letitia Chinyamula. She's a player who plays for Ascent Academy. And, keeper had to come out and be brave, make that save. Oh, not without a knock and the pain and holding and grimacing. Look at that ball. It was a teasing ball that came through. But anyway, as a goalkeeper, when you go down, this has got to be your mattress. You know?
I thought the goalkeeper could have really done well, Sikelo there, but Johannes does well to stay on her feet, keep the ball alive. That's the perfect ball where the goalkeeper is in a territory where she doesn't know, she can clash into her own opposition, but Oboeng just sniffing around, lurking there just in case of a loose ball.
But you also got to compliment Mkandawiri, who was very much aware of the attacking player, just to make sure that she uses her body to protect the ball for goalkeeper Sikelo to collect, as Oboeng was ready to latch on to that. Well, this is an opportunity where coaches just give a few more instructions and correct the wrongs, maybe motivate some of those, get them back into positions, and maybe doing the job that the captain should also be doing. But it's always welcome, because players need to hydrate in situations like this.
Yeah, hydration is very key, but definite opportunity for tacticals during this moment, where you'd want Botswana to really try and put their foot on the ball. They are much of the technical able team. With their ability, they are able to just string in a few passes together.
Those people sitting and wondering where's the goal going to come from. I'll ask my director, what do they say in Xhosa when they say they want a goal, and I'll share it with you. I'll share it with you. Okay, looking on. I think as this tournament progresses, we'll get to see a lot more people. She's up and about, and goalkeeper just shaking her neck. And, this is the opportunity to look at the bench as well of Malawi to see if Kaonga is one of those players that the coach could be looking for. Also, Esther Maulidi is another one of those if called upon. Esther is been asked to warm up, and immediately on the double the coach will definitely try and get ready to see if Mercy Sikelo will continue this match.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's up and running. She's ready to go. It's good to see. – 25 minutes on the clock. 0-0 the scoreline. Malawi and Botswana doing battle in these championships, the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championships. We are either looking for a new champion, or Malawi is out to keep the trophy. That's the miss. And every player goes through that at some point. Look at the pace of Simwaka. If delivered correctly, all she needed was to connect onto that. But again, brave defending. It had to take Masego Moncha experience to just diffuse the situation. The break attacks is quite frightening. So, Bernadette Mkandawiri will take the throw in. Nice and lanky player as Bernadette. I really would have loved to see Sabina Tom at this tournament. That is a player who is currently trying to get her papers and documents sorted out. TP Mazembe, the team that is looking forward to welcome Sabina Tom into their camp. Ball into the box, and Botswana come away with it. It is Faith Chinzimu. It's played back and forth backwards. Faith, that is pretty interesting that one finds Faith Chinzimu playing at the back, being used by the team. This is a wonderful player in an attacking third. You know, Faith was a problem child. At the champion, she was a problem child playing in the attacking role, and here she is, coach using her height. I think she's one of those players that is the second top goal scorer in the central region with 7 goals, but she is playing as a centre back. So again, there's the strike. Who's that? Faith Chinzimu. Just spoke about her. You can't even mention her name and then she scores.
Commentator's curse.
But it's a positive one. Yeah. I was just asking the questions. For a player like of her quality, you know, being in defense, and yes, she just pops up at the right place. What? 18 years of age is Faith Chinzimu.
Yeah, she showed the quality from earlier on. A well lifted ball into the box. With her technical ability, she takes a good strike, and that you can see a versatile player, but just the good actions that she does and converts this one home.
Latching on to a loose ball. Botswana were careless and not looking after the ball. Keeper was at full strength, and you can't deny Faith. Hey, Zapitwa, the untouchable, that is Faith. Goalkeeper still nursing her defenders. Bosija has conceded 1 goal.
And these are the moments, Gloria, where players are always asked to stay focused. There was that moment where the goalkeeper was down and they took a moment to go for tactics. Relapse in concentration or lapse in concentration in those moments is always just so key.
This is how the player was injured. Went up, clash of heads, down. Load shedding is what they call it this side of the world, and he has an opportunity on the other end. Doesn't connect. But yeah, you know, I think in that particular moment maybe the ref could have also blown because a head injury is one that needs immediate attention. So one would look at that and maybe ask the referee a few questions, and needed to have taken care of that particular moment.
No sitting on the fence on this one.
No, not for you.
No,
you're not
me.
allowed.
Play should have been stopped, I feel.
There we go. Ball in there. It's a bounce. Malawi draw for his first blood. Bernadette Mkandawiri. And that ball goes out for a throw in. Botswana on the back foot. 30 minutes on the clock. It is Mochawe. Here's another one of those steals. Caroline Mathiola. She plays for Silver Strikers, ladies. You know, there's something interesting that I'm observing on the team sheet of Malawi. You know, they play in regions. You get the northern region, central region, and southern region. And when you're looking at these teams that have made up the national team, I don't pick up a single player that is from the north in the squad. So 30 minutes on the clock, 7 fouls in total. Botswana definitely on the back foot, and that is pretty much the way they play. They're one of the teams, in most cases, when you look at that department, they are pretty strong. They fight for everything on offer. Mkandawiri. Header away. And again, you go to the north, and I think it was just checking some of the stats. MK Academy and Mayona Sisters are two teams that have got some fantastic players, and it will be interesting. I'm sure I'll ask Coach Lovemore Fazili in the next game what happened to the players of the north. Ball in the air, and player remained on the ground. Big bullish about it. Lesego, Radio Kanye. Very stocky, not the tallest of the players, is Radio Kanye. Has lightning. And look at Simwaka. She takes a 360. You give a player all the time to play Ringa Roses.
A packet full of roses.
A tissue. As Botswana with the long ball, they're going to try and look for a response here before they go into the break. And it is Lesego who's on the ball. They need to get the numbers in the box, and lack of support as the player goes down just on the edge of that box. Lesego Radio Kanye, 23 years of age, and she kept her hand up in the air. That knee.
Yeah, I think Radio Kanye just taking matters into her own hands to really try and get this Botswana team a little bit alive where creativity is concerned down this left flank. They haven't been able to string in a couple of passes, so individual brilliance also comes into effect.
Amanda, when you have Malawi, as I said, with the choker on your neck, it's really proving to be very difficult to come out of your half. And what they are doing very well is pressing high, using the explosiveness and the interchanging of players at times into position. That doesn't look good for Radio Kanye, and she's one of the top players that they're looking forward to get those goals. Talking about goals, it's a corner. It's a corner. The wind is starting to increase the speed, as you see the flags in the corner there really flying away as a ball in the box. Keeper in that particular moment, I would say, was beaten. Keeper was beaten. I think a better connection there for Laone Gaufetuge would have really done the business. Just getting off the right side of her head. If she connected that very well, I think we would have seen a beautiful goal coming from deep.
A good attempt from Gaufetuge, but we haven't seen much of Mochawe, who I think is a set-piece specialist with that educated left foot. You saw how she drove that corner into the sweet spot.
I think both teams are not allowed to, conjure up some passes. And I think that's what is missing from the game. But again, the coach will say, let's be businesslike. Let's get the goals and we can settle into what they call the beautiful football. But Botswana, if you give them the room and the time to knock those balls around, they can look absolutely dangerous. So Malawi doing their homework and making sure that they don't allow them to settle.
Yeah, and I think that's where some of the coaches are like, it doesn't have to look pretty.
Yeah. There we go. Still want to see. Yes, Ketumesi Ditebe. She's been shut down, is Dobadova. If she's given room, you can see she has company. It's a throw in. So Botswana. So Radio Kanye, look good to see her back into it, taking players on. That is her strength. We want to see her in 1v1 situations. But also Malawi playing it very, very careful, not allowing players like Radio Kanye to, get better positions, better angles in front of goal. Because I think if they can get those angles in goals, the goalkeeper there will be in serious trouble.
Yeah, the goalkeeper hasn't been tested enough, and so as the defense, it's just a matter of Botswana pushing up their line a bit. They're a little bit cautious because now at the back it looks like a 4v4 situation. Malawi just being very smart about their tactics.
Well, you're looking at this one and saying, now Madagascar's looking on, so is Mauritius, and plotting the next move. Bouncing in the box, and last touch of a blue and white jersey, giving chase. Nancy Bayeletsi could give her 100% effort. On the edge of the box. There's Simoka. Keeper will say that's pretty easy for me. The referee just wants that free kick taken. As you have a look at that, a little bit of a stamp on the feet, and free kick to Botswana. Look at that run. Yes, Doba Doba. She gives up that chase. But again, if you close her down and don't give her the space, she will mesmerize the defenders. Chawe. Well, this time the Malawian side not having that many friendlies in preparation for the COSAFA. When they won this cup and coming to this tournament, they had scored 34 goals. And that just sharpened the team and made sure that they got the belief. Those are such important elements in preparation for a tournament of this nature. They scored 34, they didn't concede a single goal. That's Malawi.
If that is not growth or development, then I don't know what is.
Throw in. Chawe. Bayeletsi. Laone. A little scrappy in the last few minutes or so. Laone Moloi. Botswana having produced quite a number of wonderful players who have played in the South African leagues. Tolagele, one of those players, great goal poacher, and she broke her leg in a nasty challenge. As one of those players that is always involved in the Botswana attack.
I think another player, Tato Ramafifi.
Those are some of the players that have come out of Botswana and contributed immensely to the growth of the football in that area. There's the ball. Did well to stay on side. Needs a support play, and that is maybe an element of Adoba. Yeah, she shows a bit of skill. And Radio Kanye, ball in the box, keeper! Beaten! We asked for the support play. Laone Moloi, she draws one back. 1-1 the scoreline. That is just what was needed. Malawi going to sleep. And the 40th minute, when you look at that ball from the left-hand side, being whipped into the critical areas. I mentioned, Amanda, that if Botswana get an opportunity to shoot at the goalkeeper, we'll be talking something else. The scoreline at this moment, you got to give credit to Doba Doba. She done well by whipping that ball in from the left-hand side, and it found Radio Kanyo. Radio Kanyo just whipping it in, and the goal there by Laone Moloi. Good comeback.
Good comeback indeed, well orchestrated goal. We spoke about Botswana just pushing their line a little bit forward so that they get those numbers in attack. The sense of urgency of players like Ditebe, Rajokanye as well in that forward attack now has really proven that they should really impose themselves.
Get out of their half a lot more. We spoke about trying to get a few passes together, and when they did, look good. But here's a Simwaka on the edge of the box, trying to do it alone. Maybe a bit of sharing and caring to turn the result around would have been beneficial.
Yeah, but also if you know that, or you feel you're not in control of the ball, rather just get it under control and recycle, get in a good position and possibly finish off.
Amanda's saying puff and pass.
Injalo.
Puff and pass.
Injalo.
You know what it's like when you get into a huddle and you've got an inchie? There we go.
Pass.
There we go. 1-1. We said this game will be very close. It's living up to expectation. And that goal will give the belief to Botswana. Another ball headed away. Botswana will just push up a bit. It's leaving 3 players. Again, maybe they can just drop one into the midfield and leave Simwaka alone up front. She's going to deal with 3 players. In actual fact, Botswana have just dropped another player. There's Johannes. Another free kick for Botswana in a promising area, but the angle is a little bit narrow. As Lesego Radiokanye is a player that is grimacing, and that's the reason why. Yeah, got a little bit of a 3-stud, 6-stud, how many studs? Multi-stud.
Multi-stud.
On the knee.
Knee, they're biting the ankles as well.
Ball in is a limp. She's been through the wars as Lesego Radiokanye. 12 fouls in this match. Malawi have started, I think you can actually see the minute they lose a lot of possessions, the decision making is not what they started with. As we have a look at the 2-man war in there, Vanessa and Chikupila together with Malora. They would protect the goalkeeper. That ball is whipped in, and you can actually see it being a little bit deceiving. But Laone trying to show a little bit of fancy footwork, runs out of room, and that is a goal kick. Player inside the box there of it's Radiokanye who got injured earlier on, and perhaps the referee will say, maybe just hold on a little bit. If I was on the bench right now and I'm the coach, I would keep the player on the field and hope that during the break you work it out, and that's the reason she took one on the side of her knee.
And I'm actually even wondering if it's not the same knee where she went into a collision with Chinzimu.
There we go. It's probably been through the wars as Radiokanye. And again, yeah, she gives a thumbs up. I think the medical team can definitely work on her during the break. She's a very important player for Botswana. Talking about an important player, Machawe, another one of those. Another free kick this time. Waiting to see the board from the fourth official to indicate the time that is to be added for the referee. For Faith Chinzimu, she needs to go up a little bit more. And, anywhere will do for Botswana. They know, and a team that comes from behind, very much the confidence is pretty much on a high. Masiko Moncho being the player that will decide that if you want to ride on that, you're welcome to do so. That ball will find you in row number 9 or number 10. Goal kick for Botswana. Top Four Ladies, one of the older women football teams out in Malawi, being represented by quite a few players as well here for Malawi. team that is owned by one of the ministers. They call him Jomo. So when somebody's called Jomo, you already have a picture of what he looks like.
What he looks like or what he can do?
Both.
Sweet water, sugar like pear.
There we go. Lesego, Radio Kani. Now you must know that football intelligence, the skill that comes out of there, associated with jersey number 10. Those are the players they call can't get. Ball over the top. Yes, Botswana in the box. Oh, just taking an eye off the ball, and it was Chinyamula who got that ball away, but it's on the left-hand side where, again, Simwaka is giving chase. She's all over the park. And where she's been, there's always evidence that Simwaka's been around.
Yep, just because of her physicality, but also she wants to get that ball behind the defenders. Gafetuge here just keeping her tabs on her. That shoulder to shoulder. That shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, Asimenye Simwaka. I still remember, you know, the goal that she scored. Oh, she's got some wonderful goals to her name. Ball over the top. Here she goes on the bicycle. She's asking for the motorbike. Yes, Simwaka! Oh, just a little too much. Again, what do you need in situations like that? You need players available on the left and the right-hand side. Malawi need players to keep up with the pace of Simwaka so that she can use them as a reliever to release that ball and get into space again, get the quick 1-2 and the return pass. She definitely is being closed down by the intelligence of Bayaletsi and Mochawe as well in that defense. Well, the referee says she's seen enough and blows a whistle once, twice, 3 times, and says it's time to take a break. Some fantastic moves by Tanda de Mogabo, doing well for Botswana, and not forgetting Malawi, who opened the scoring, and they opened the scoring through a fantastic goal by Faith Chinzimu to register her name in this tournament. But Nancy Bayaletsi, together with Masego Moncho, doing well in that defense. So we'll confirm the scoreline, and Malawi 1, Botswana 1. We look at the stats of the first 45 minutes. Very little separating the two sides in terms of possession. You're looking at the corner count. Malawi absolutely dominant in standard situations, and offsides, they've done well to read the game, but it's definitely been almost even Stevens in terms of looking at the goal attempts.
Well, a tightly contested game is what we're currently seeing. We're currently pitch side with Dolene Whiteboy. Just to take you through some of the moments from that first half. An interesting one thus far, but I know you're expecting more.
Exactly, Tumeling. I mean, these are the two teams in this group that we expect to take us through. I mean, if you look at the other two teams, Madagascar early on today when they played, it's the first time that they could win by such a margin. So, yeah, I really expected more in the first half, but yeah, maybe it's just nerves and they're trying to settle in, so let's see what happens.
I mean, you were sitting on the side and you're just like, no one is fully taking control of this encounter. Would you say possibly it's the jitters of Botswana wanting to go all the way, but also Malawi wanting to prove a name for themselves?
Well, Malawi obviously want to ensure that they take the cup back again.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're here to defend the cup. It's not like they come to play. I'm not sure if they missed the Chawinga sisters, but I mean, at the end of the day, you look at Chavinda, Mary, the number 18. Yeah. I mean, she's a good replacement, if I can put it that way, for the Chawinga sisters. It's just the way that they used, and maybe the coach should look at making sure that there's more closer links to that. If you can see some of the attempts that she made, and the confidence that she has to actually score.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the combinations that we're seeing up front, because we saw Basija being tested.
Yes. Yeah, as you can see, quick play, putting the Botswana defense under pressure. In the defense of Botswana, I have to mention that they actually have two players that's converted. One is an out-and-out attacker, which is the number 9, and then the number 8 normally plays as a midfielder. So they've converted them as central defenders, and maybe that's one of the reasons. If you look at the goal that came, the poor clearance, it could possibly be one of the reasons, because they're not comfortable in those positions.
We were talking about Faith, and actually in commentary, Gloria was talking about Faith, and we were just like, where is she? And then out of the boom, she finds the back of the net. Let's go through her goal as to how it came about. It was through a set piece.
Yes. Okay, as you can see, number 18, the main penalty set piece taker, and there, boom!
Loose ball.
Loose ball coming, as I said earlier, from the defense. But you know what? Number 2, we were talking about her, Faith, as you say.
Absolutely.
She's not an out-and-out defender. If you have to apply the principles of defense, she's more like a moving.
Would you play her better as an attacker as opposed to a defender?
Definitely. I mean, in the midfield, right behind your Mary. Why not? Because then she can lay up the ball for her. As you can see, she's got the quality to actually score the goals.
The beauty of modern football is we have these inverted players. And I think with the women's game, we're seeing a lot of that.
Yes, definitely. As I said to you, what I would like to see more in this game, if you've noticed, they've only played on the one side of the pitch, on the left-hand side. That's where both goals actually came from. So if we have to go into the second round, I would love to see more of the switch play, more of the combination plays that we know the Malawians are capable of. Even Botswana, yes, they like to play direct football, but more to have that confidence on the ball. If I have received the ball, let me find my teammate, and that's not what's happening at the moment.
Botswana then wanted to react.
They want to react.
Lona Gaufetoge then had her attempt. Let's go through that and see as to how that played.
Oh, hello. Now, I'm not sure why she's going down there.
I mean, it is also entertainment at the end of the day, isn't it?
Really, it's a camera on there. Well, that is unlucky for her, going in for a diving header. It would have been actually beautiful if she could have directed that into the goal, because it's very, very seldom that you would see diving headers from female footballers. So it would have been a great goal if she had done it.
The physicality, normally when we talk about women's football, we talk about the players not looking good in shape. We talk about, it's normally the negatives that people talk about. Within this competition, are you satisfied with the level of fitness that we're experiencing?
Well, do you want me to go back from the first game up until now?
Absolutely, everything that we've seen, I think even from yesterday.
Yeah, look, with the level of fitness, there are some teams that definitely have to work on fitness though. They have to work on the physique, have to work on the athleticism. And I know from previous matches, previous tournaments, we could see there are some players that actually gain. Not that we want to mention certain, but those are the things that coaches have to look at. What programs are they giving their players, even if they are not playing for the national team? So when they come back into the national team, they don't have to still work on fitness because it's already there.
Botswana, coming back into this one, they managed to score one back. Actually ran past the bench of Malawi, and officials had to say, hold on, let's go through this goal.
Yeah,
because
look,
this was a moment for
this
them.
was actually very good if you look at it. The play came from the left wing. I'm not sure, I can't remember what it was. It actually put a pass onto the left-hand side. Number 10 running across, almost like diagonally running to receive the ball, and then just cross it. You know, there we go. You see, combination play 1-2, putting it across. But the actual thing started way back.
Yeah.
The actual move started way back.
What we saw up front, is that not what they've been missing within this game, where you do have players go up front, but they have no support?
Yes. There's definitely the links between the midfield and the striker is a little bit too, the gaps itself is a little bit too big. So yeah, we would like to have more support, as you say, coming up where the midfielders come into it. And that was a brilliant run.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a brilliant run and a good finish. And that is what we would like to see more and more. You know,
the coaches are currently talking in the change room.
Yes.
You're sitting in there, or if you coach for both sides, what are you saying? Let's start with Malawi.
Girls, we're in here to win it. So
Yeah.
let's start moving the ball. Let's start playing our game. Let's forget about Botswana and what they will do. Let's find our combinations in the midfield because let's make our switch plays because that is basically what we need to do, especially with our midfielder, number 30 in the middle, taking the ball wide and then switching it to the other side. Let's stretch Botswana.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's utilize
Let's
the pitch.
utilize the pitch. Let's utilize the width of the pitch. Let's play. Let's do our wing play.
Any substitutions you'd make for Malawi?
For now, most probably not yet. I must be honest, I haven't looked at the substitution to say, but for now, let's go into the game and see what we can get from this first half. Okay.
Botswana.
Botswana, the same thing. Yes, our strength is direct play, but maybe because they're playing with 3 at the back, with 5 in the midfield, but the midfield itself, they're not coming back on the sides, you know, when it comes into the defense. So let's see how we can strengthen that, but also find our striker and quick combination play with our midfielders so that we can penetrate, as you've seen that goal, the defensive line of Malawi.
Yeah. One thing, though, that we really seeing that's working to the advantage of Malawi is their speed.
Their speed, yes.
If you are Botswana, then which parts of the game are we slowing it down in the midfield just so that we can get a grip of the game? Because that's where we're seeing them have an advantage over them.
Yeah, just make sure that they don't get behind our defensive line. So that is where I said the midfielders need to come in, close that ball so that we don't get that passing lanes going for Malawi. Okay, I've used a term now. I'm seeing instead of possession football or playing football, I see kicking football. So I don't know. So yeah, that's one thing I can use on the coach education side.
Do you believe we're going to get a winner from this one, or is it going to be tightly contested as to what we saw? Because we saw Botswana then score within the 40th minute. Crucial within the last 10 minutes of every interval.
Well, if Botswana can put Malawi like at the back foot, keep on putting the pressure up on the upside, and yes, they can definitely win them. But I can tell you now, Malawi is going to come out guns blazing because, as I said, they want to defend this trophy with everything.
You said you didn't see enough leadership when it comes from a Botswana's perspective. Boseja sitting at the back, what more would you need from her?
Okay, when I said leadership, I was specifically looking at the control.
Okay.
Not from both teams. Both of them did not
They're
take
losing their
control.
identity.
Yeah, they didn't take control of this game, and instead, as you say, losing their identity, playing off each other instead of playing their own game. If you look at the tempo of the game, also there was nobody said, okay, let's just control it, let's try and play our game. Now we start moving, and I mean it's from both teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one would expect Botswana to possibly be a bit more in control. As you know,
Yes.
Botswana is dry and windy,
Yes.
which is what we're currently expecting here.
Exactly. And with a goalkeeper from Botswana, I mean, she's currently playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and she's a regular goalkeeper. And if I stand correctly, but I know she was goalkeeper of the tournament in COSAFA 2020. So she's coming a long way with this one, with that experience. Let's utilize it. Let's make use of her distribution abilities.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see as to how the next 45 does play about. Both sides posing a lot of experience. As we know, for Botswana, they've never won the COSAFA Women's Championship, and they're hoping that this is the year. As for Malawi, I thought you saw that celebration from Lovebo. He was doing this, and he's hoping that by the end of this competition, he will be doing the same. It's 1-1 as it stands, but what will be said at the end of 90 minutes? We're going to take you back to commentary. Gloria Brown as well as Amanda Dlamini are on standby to narrate this story to you as it unfolds.
Welcome back to the second half of the COSAFA Women's Championships, which is the Hollywood Bets Day 2, which is the second match in Group B, and that is the first day for Group B. And if you are joining us, Malawi and Botswana are locked at 1 goal apiece. Goals that were scored by Faith Chinzimu and a response there by Laone Malloy. So Botswana out in a huddle, wearing the powder blue uniforms with a bit of white trimmings. Malawi, the Scorchers, in the red for danger. They're making 2 changes. That is Malawi, and in comes number 4, that is Chisomo Banda, and Vanessa Chikupila is the player that went out, and in comes Catherine Kachala, and her place, she's replacing Mary Chawinda. So exciting times as the coach is trying to rescue this particular match and not wanting to play a draw. That's how tight it can be. Group A and Group B are the 2 groups that have 4 teams in that particular group. And earlier on in Group B, it was Madagascar and Mauritius playing to an avalanche of goals. That just setting the tone for this particular match. So 2 changes for Malawi. The coach definitely being on point. When you're looking at those changes, you're hoping that it will change the complexion of the match. What do we think that the coach is trying to achieve there by bringing in Chisomo Banda as well as Catherine Kachala? Catherine Kachala in the forward, and Banda is also forward. That speaks to the fact that he's sacrificed players in those defensive areas to bring in attacking players.
Yep, he did speak to the fact that they are defending champions. Very intentional about them defending their title and possibly trying to find different combinations that might work for them, because in the first half we didn't see the synergy, the free-flowing football that you might like. So maybe these 2 inclusions in the second half could really bring that little bit of momentum and rhythm to the team.
When you're looking at Vanessa Chikupila, who is operating in that heart of the midfield, that is where the coach is wanting an improvement. The heart of the midfield, you get to see Vanessa Chikupila, the player to make way for Malawi, as well as up front Mary, who was pretty much a live wire, very problematic, but ran out of legs towards the end of the 45, making life rather difficult. But here on the edge of the box and taking a snapshot is Catherine Kachala. What a way to announce yourself in the tournament, in the match. Rachel Kachala, Catherine Kachala.
Yep, she peels away very nicely from the 2 defenders. Brings the ball very well under her control. A snapshot indeed on the turn. Very fortunate for Busija to have missed the target.
Well, I have to ask Chisomo Banda. Very often we go down to the touchline and we speak to Ms. Banda when she gives us a report card on an injured player. It would be fair to ask if Chisomo Banda is family. I'm sure she'll answer us later on in the match. But having a look at the match itself here in the second half, navigating either side and being very cautious here in these precious seconds, as they call them, critical phases of the match. Opening 15 minutes where players are still thinking about the change room. Some come out more motivated than others. But here is Botswana trying to connect a couple of passes, especially in that midfield. Ball intercepted and struggling to stay on her feet is Letitia Chinyamula. Violetsi. It's breaking up play. Still very much organized. 4 at the back. Seen when they don't have the ball, that is Botswana, they drop some players to go and support, but otherwise playing very comfortably with 3 players. Malawi haven't been able to exploit the spaces just behind Mukhabu as well as Moncho.
Botswana just overloading their midfield to try and compete and contest for the ball.
Change and bringing on Banda. Let's see how she fares as that ball just aimlessly from Matiola just goes out looking for Kachola. Some darting play. 49 minutes on the clock. I think coaches now will be very, very cautious, not wanting to lose it, and want to minimize the errors. We saw the foul count in the first 45. It's now 18 fouls, of which Malawi have 10 of those fouls. Procedure organizing Violetsi. This is when you definitely need to listen to your goalkeeper. She tries to close down the angle while she looks after the other positions. That ball just getting a bit of a curl. Procedure is giving away some instructions to the players to get the ball away as quick as possible. Let's get to see if they can counter-attack. That ball just running out of room. It will be a throw-in. Definitely want to see Ketumeti Ditebe a lot more here in the second half. We've got to see some glimpses of the Doba Doba. Another free kick to Botswana, ranked number 153 by FIFA. And on the continent, they're sitting at 32, still leading in that aspect. Nigeria still poised at number 1. South Africa closing the gap there. You've also got Cameroon and Ghana.
Morocco at number 4 as well.
Morocco, who's doing something right about their football. From the development structures, you get to see how well their teams are performing. AS FAR, who are or were once the champions of the Champions League. I think it was, what, 2022? AS FAR, they thrashed Mamelodi Sundowns in that final. Got to see some wonderful players being unleashed in that particular tournament. And it goes on, and you're talking about players being unleashed in this particular tournament. Rachel Nachula of Zambia is one of those players that definitely graced the occasion in 2019, set the scene alight. South Africa had Sibulele Holweni in 2 consecutive years, one being the top goal scorer, the other one being the player of the tournament. Not forgetting in the latter stages of 2022, Barbara Banda. She's grown to be an African darling, loved by all parts of the continent. In 2023, then the Scorchers put on quite a performance, and Temwa Chawinga also coming to the light and making sure that she registered her name, Olrifilwe Jani. This is where it all begins, and you hope that they propel to bigger heights or to other teams and greener pastures, as we have a look at Mochawe, who takes her time. Very experienced defender, very calm under pressure. We talk of that, and as that being said, Sal's a dummy, and she gets a bit of a nibble.
Yeah, as a defender, she gets a taste of her own medicine.
Usually you give, you must learn to take.
You must learn to take, and I've played against her, and I know that left foot of hers, well educated in terms of just crosses and delivery, but also an ankle biter, trust me.
There we go. I call her a scorpion, and for a reason that she stings. Scorpion is Yes, Botswana, a little bit better by Botswana here in the second half, certainly being able to connect a few passes as another player goes rolling down almost on the halfway line, and that player just holding her head, and referee is not interested at this moment as Malawi decide they will take advantage of the fact that Botswana were down, and good to see her up and about yet again. And, she'll run it off. Coach will tell her, get up and run it off. There's Malawi on the edge of the box, trying to play the quick 1-2. Bosija. You need a quick thinking goalkeeper who's looking at the channels to release that ball.
Yeah.
That can be the difference between making use of the numerical advantage and catching the opposition whilst they are asleep.
Yeah, I'm thinking Simwaka had already committed to herself, to the goalkeeper, and I thought Bosija just missed an opportunity to roll that ball very quickly to Machawe, so that she's also on a bike and it just maximize and attack that space.
I think she had intentions of doing that and then realized that some of her players were not on the same wavelength as she was, and therefore had to hold that ball back, because you really got to get that range. You've got to make sure you release that ball into spaces for players to run onto, and I think it's just the difference of the quality of the player that they really have.
Experience.
Malawi. Switching play to the left-hand side. That's Laone Moloi, the goal scorer. And then another long ball trying to dissect the two defenders, also on the left-hand side. We've got to see the goals being scored from the left-hand side of both teams. Throw in. Botswana. The fans still are trickling in, and referee, that's Teresa Sitoko, is making sure that she's stopped in her tracks. There's no advantage. Here's Asimenya Simwaka. I think coach may just want to push Faith up a little, look for that winning goal. Other than that, as much as they have the firepower, they really haven't been able to deliver. Is outnumbered in that box into the middle of the park. Again, there's nothing separating these two sides when you look at possession, 49 and 51%. I think in the first half it was the other way around in favor of Malawi, but nice to see how Botswana has clawed the away and are definitely on the ascendancy. Bounce of the ball absolutely deceiving. Here's a chance for Malawi. Johannes. Converting this into tennis, right? Ball is in the air. Definitely not the strength of Botswana. They don't have the tallest of players, nor do they have the players that love that much of running. Just keep it down, keep it, play it to the feet. That is definitely a strength that they have.
Looks like ping pong, but they certainly need the legs of Moloi to just get on the ball. She's been doing an absolutely brilliant job in that midfield alongside Johannes, but they just need someone to just string those passes together, find a teammate, and maybe just try and be a little bit more positive with the progressive build-up.
Still playing. If you look at the bench, you've got Ontlametsi who can do, who can be very, very destructive. You also got Maponga is another one of those players, and not forgetting Selebatso. If they run out of legs in the middle of the park, she's got abundance of experience for Botswana. Here's a chance that Botswana will want to use to great effect, but again, effective defending, and it is Faith Chinzimu who gets that ball away. Quickly taken by Johannes. Ball into the box, needs a good connection. Doba was lurking and not able to make that connection. As we have a look at the earlier attempt, that ball, as you can see, taking a bounce as Johannes tries to keep it moving, and that ball being forced out. And Chinzimu doing well, using her pace to get that ball away from the goal. As a defender, when you get your attackers to turn their backs and go the other way, you know already you've won that particular battle.
Yep.
Corner, Botswana. Chawe. Ball is in the air, on the edge of the box. Another connection by Botswana. It's Laone Moloi. Here is the deceiving pace of Kachala. She goes out on the outside, plays it with Banda. The two players that have come on here in the second half, they're deciding, no, let's do it just between the two of us. Banda and Kachala. Keeper comes out, and Chinzimu taking no chances, just making sure that she gets that ball away from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think with the speed, she's backing herself to really try and organize that back four, getting there just in time to intercept before the goalkeeper gets the Sikelo. I thought she was late.
Sikelo on the edge of the box. Oh, asking questions. Where are you, Sikelo? And can Laone, as that ball just trickled all the way back. Good connection, but doesn't get it on target. It is a Doba. She's reminding everybody that she does have a good foot. Running into space. They've got to really close her down. But she also needs a support play. I think for me, Laone has just increased her work rate. There's Mochawe! Oh, and down she goes. After releasing that ball, Mochawe held on to her knee. She got a hold of that. This is that earlier moment where Laone Moloi also went down and sent that ball looking for Mochawe. Mochawe wasted no time. She was invited and she took that invitation, but she got lost along the way.
And usually those kinds of injuries, when we look at those goal attempts as well, 7 apiece, Mochawe adding to those goal attempts with those long range shots, but maybe she just could have just pulled a certain muscle, but she's back on her feet, looks good.
Yeah, definitely looks good. With 14 attempts, so the players here, I think the coach really realizing that his team is definitely on the ascendancy. So this match reaches the 1 hour mark. As they're looking on and are very concerned at what to do, what to change. But they have a healthy bench. Is Malawi, the Scorchers. They have a healthy bench. They've already made 2 changes. And so the one thing that I don't like seeing is there under the name of Sabina Tom, it's got absent. And you also got players like Kaonga and Mulimbika, Sarah Mulimbika. Could come on, Maureen, Kenneth. And limping away is Radio Kanyo. She's been soldiering on, and you wonder, is it that they are afraid to make the changes? Because Botswana are yet to make a change, Amanda, or unless I missed it.
Yet to make a change.
They're yet to make a change. This is when you definitely got to look at your bench and hope that you've got the depth that is needed for this particular tournament, because the number of games that is played to get into the final, you play your round robin in your group stages, you then go and you play your semi-finals where they take the top, the top finisher.
Yep.
And that's about 3-4 games. You go then into, it's about 5 games depending, because we've got 2 groups with 4 and the other groups have got 3.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just simply the coach is always waiting for that 65th minute mark to make the first sub.
Okay. Let's have a look at the opportunity there for Botswana. There's Dova Dova. Very fierce striker. Radio Kanya pickpocketed. Goalkeeper been asked to come out. She goes out, and her defenders help her out in that moment. And I think again for Botswana, they've seen that that could be the weakest link, playing the 1-2 with Dova Dova. Here's Radio Kanya. Botswana making it look beautiful. A chance for Botswana, and that just rolls over the goal line. That goes over the goal line. Now see, Violetsi, the 28-year-old. We spoke about Botswana just knocking it about. She was onside in that moment and did well, but the flag goes up.
Yeah, the flag goes up because she started off from an offside position before coming back onto line to header that ball through for an assist. So she was already offside. What are you going to say? Are you on the fence?
No. Not this time around. Not this time around. It's Botswana. Straight 4 at the back. Ball over the top, giving chase. Laone. Keeper comes out. Michelle. Simwaka takes her eye off the ball, all alone momentarily, and gives it away. There's Malawi. Crowd are really looking forward to another goal. 65 minutes on the clock, and 1-1 is the scoreline. The goals scored by Laone, and the other one by Faith Chinzimu. And here's, you know, when you look at Benedetta Mkondoiri going into challenges, half-heartedly appeals. Keeper is giving instructions from the backline in that particular moment. I think she could have been more vocal, and, could have collected that ball. Posija Sidilame. So one looks at a grimacing Kachala. All over the top, one in the air. And, very strong challenge there. Masego Monjo, what would the coach be thinking right now of Botswana? Just to keep it simple, or take a chance and bring in some fresher legs? Or is this your best 11 that you don't even want to tamper with? We'll have a look at the goals that got us to this particular point. With Malawi drawing first blood, it was a ball that came in from the right-hand side, and a good connection by Faith Chinzimu, just making sure that she reminded the defenders that you got to make sure you clear your line. Don't nearly kill the snake, kill the snake. And you're looking at Dova Dova on the other hand, building it very well with Radio Kanya. Ball into the box and a good connection. Keeper had no chance, and that just brought Botswana back into this match. Laone Malloy registering her name onto the score sheet. So that's another change being made by Malawi. Caroline comes out, and Sarah Milumbika is the player. Botswana make their first change. Out goes Michelle Abueng, and in comes Ontlametsi. That is the player that I really want to see. And, she's been brought on at
and indeed, 67 minutes on the clock, and the coaches start bringing those subs.
It's plenty of time to make an impact on the match.
Because also I understand that you have to tread carefully the number of subs can also just, you know, take out the sting or the momentum and the fluidity of the team. So the better you have a core starting 11 that has that synergy, it's always the right way or the right approach. If you're going to ring the changes, the spine needs to be solid.
Talking about the spine, here is the Malawians looking at dismantling that defense, but the offside flag coming to the rescue in that particular moment. Kimete coming on for Michelle, just one change. On the other hand, Malawi have made, what, 4 changes? So you're looking at 4 offsides. Ball just bobbling in the middle of the park. This game definitely lost a bit of its firepower. Definitely losing its firepower. Ball just bouncing there, and a connection by Kachala, not getting it well enough, or not connecting well enough. There's Simwaka delivering the quality ball, hoping that she could find Mulumbika. Another 20 minutes to go. No one, we've seen the conveyor belt work for Botswana. You've seen a number of players that have grown from the under 17 into the under 20 11, under 17 and under 20 division. Here they are in the senior side.
Good progression. The conveyor belt of development is in full effect.
I mean, when you look at the South African side as well, they definitely are. It's very clear that they're in a rebuilding phase and wanting to infuse the youth and experience as we continue to look at players that are maturing over time. Also losing players to some international clubs as they go on to look for greener pastures. And when that happens, you don't really want to disrupt some of those players. It gives an opportunity for you to blend the younger players. It's Chinzimu. Amanda, there's this team in Malawi called Ascent Academy. The way they play their football, amazing. Little nippy players, very short in stature. They are arrogant, and not in a bad way, but in such a way that their presence is felt. And when you're looking at those players and you say some 19 years, some 18 years, in 2 years' time, I think we'll have a real scorcher coming through from those parts of Africa. And I think Malawi are definitely cooking something if they can continue to keep the players together and hope that they stay in love with football.
Yep. What is it they say about dynamite and the size?
I don't know about those packages. Ball in the air as Maseko Moncho has been asked to make sure they push up. Need to relieve that pressure a little bit. Doba releasing that ball. Here's the pace, here's the Ontlameti. Keeper was very quick off a line. 2023, she knows all about it. She was scored by a number of teams besides Eswatini. Patricia Nyirenda plays for Kamazu Barracks, and being the captain, I think just looking on, Patricia Nyirenda. We had a player in the PSL called Wetson Nyirenda, played for Kaizer Chiefs many years ago, and oh, that was a nibble, or more than a nibble. She pulled her foot away from that, deserving of a yellow card for Patricia.
It's just clumsy tackles, very unnecessary. And if you look at the captain, Yurenda, she was way out of her zone and didn't really have the pressure to commit that kind of foul.
Well, I think at this moment, Malawi are really shell-shocked, hoping that they would cruise away. And when you get into a situation and you find yourself up against quite a strong opponent, and like Botswana, you find these kind of tactics coming in on either side. That is where you get a bit of a nibble there. It'll be interesting to also see the foul count yet again, whether it's increased in favor of Malawi, because they are the team right now that's almost gone into a defensive mode instead of really using the pace. Here's Simwaka on the right-hand side, and looking at the goalkeeper and just whipping that ball in. I think, again, decision-making is one that needs to be adjusted. Play it short, get closer to the goal mouth. Yes, the pace is there. Look at those legs, look at that stride. And to beat Procedure from that particular angle.
It'll have to take something
It's going to have to
really
take
great.
something special. I agree, Amanda.
Yeah, but good passage of play, because they're trying to get the diagonal pass across, sort of pass over the top. But we spoke about the final third entries. It's the quality of the ball that you're going to get in the box.
75 minutes. Botswana playing those short passes. Here's Radio Kanye again, looking for the pace and the runner. It looks like Luengo Senwelo is a player that has sneaked onto the field, number 5 of Botswana. It'll be interesting to see who came off in that change. Number 5 of Botswana, Senwelo. She came on and she sneaked onto the right-hand side. Playing the ball whilst on the ground is Laone Moloi. Chinzimu. Here's Muchawe. Malawi on the left-hand side, looking at Sarah Mulumbika. She's also come in and shown a bit of promise. But Onele, Tanda Onele, has also just picked up a game here in the second half and making it rather difficult for Malawi to have that free passage of play. Catherine Kachala. I'm sure the Malawians out there are glued onto their television. One particular Tadala, who is in the forefront of women's football, in the very same position as done and is doing some fantastic work out there for women's football, in actual fact for football. Tadala, Charles. Wakere, just to mention some of people out there. Shidron, those are the people that will write the history books of Malawian football, women's football. All they need is just the support and the drive to get women's football where it should be. Just losing out, and that moment is Keitumetsi Ditebe, that ball just going the wrong way, and keeper comes out, gets a bit of a boot on the head. And you got to look at Pilirani Malora, who did well and was very present, quite aware that the goalkeeper had come out. That trailing foot didn't have the venom that usually some of the players possess when they get into that area, showing frustration. 50-50% between the two. Scoreline is 1-1. Very difficult. It will be interesting to see as well, you know, when it comes to player of the match, who would you give it to? That's how tight it will become. And there's another change that is being made. Yaone Modise is another player that comes on. She comes on for Doba Doba. And here Keitumetsi Ditebe. must have been rather disappointed. I think under her, or by her standards, she would know that her contribution wasn't as effective as she would have liked it to be. But again, you've got to look at the opponents and say they really did the job to close out a very dangerous player. And, looking at Sarah Mulumbika trying to create space to run into, and it's quickly closed down. Speaking of Onele Tanda, who's really been able to shut that back door to great effect.
And I think for Ditebe, she just should look at the positives.
Yeah.
Goal contribution, she certainly got involved.
Both sets of players afraid to make that mistake, to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and it was pretty open in the first 45, and then when you realize that you've got to play with a little bit of caution, and then want to minimize the errors. Here's a referee who's coming towards the touchline. That's referee Ndebogele Sitoko. Sitoko is a no-nonsense player. It's on Tlametsi. That ball being floated into the box there by Chavinda. It's really been one of those players that are present. And the strike there by Faith Chinzimu. One of the top strikers out in Malawi, playing in a very unfamiliar role for her club. And again, you get to see players in club. This is usually the club versus country discussion, where you'll find a player who does exceptionally well in a particular position and is converted to another position, and the expectation is pretty much the same.
Expectation is pretty much the same.
But yet playing in a different position, Amanda.
Yeah, that's why they call you a versatile player, but here's the nice part.
Okay.
If there's too many midfielders that you get going to defense, you can never sit on the bench.
She said it. She said it. She's putting my thinking cap on.
Think about it.
Yeah, but look, I think in a situation like this, a player like Faith, I would, yes, player in the defense, maybe first 60 minutes or so. When you're looking for a winner, because this can come back to haunt them, take and put her in a familiar role up front. And then all you need to do is bring in the supply.
I agree with you. Also, because the priority objective maybe should be to top the group.
To top the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she put my cap on. 80 minutes, 10 minutes to go.
It's not just old beauty, huh?
There we go. Ball in the box. Machawe on the blind side. Good control. Botswana trying to eliminate players, and that was a stinger. And the keeper just showing a quality. That was a great effort by Yaone Modise.
Yeah, super effort from Yaone Modise. On the blind side on the back post, she does really well to eliminate the opposition, fires a powerful shot, forces the goalkeeper for a save.
You need these kind of players that would come in and change the complexion of the match. The impact almost immediate. As Botswana, with now 5 corners, will want to make use of this one. He floated correctly, overcooked on the edge of the box. That has been brought back into the area in which the referee doesn't like. And again, it's Simwaka who is the player to try and tidy up. A little bit of holding between the two players. I want to say, Piki wena. I hold, you hold. Don't hesitate. You hesitate, I hesitate. Malawi, it's a long ball. Definitely one that is searching. And searching for the heroines in this match. Who can win this for their coach? There's an opportunity for Malawi to give chase in the form of Malumbika. stopped in the tracks as Radio Kanye using strength. His Onelo Etanda defense, playing it at the back, and the goalkeeper will be screaming, wanting that ball to be hacked away. Go and tidy up front. Just trying to get that up front, but she did it under a lot of pressure when she did have a lot of time on her hands to be able to release that ball. So it's those moments which one can say it's anyone's game. The players who are brave enough to take the risk will get the 3 points. At this moment, it's still points that are up for grabs. And if the scoreline remains as is, I would want Madagascar to take a picture of the group standings, because it will say Madagascar 3 points.
3 points.
And on top of Malawi, Botswana. That would be something to talk about tonight.
Defending champs.
There we go.
And an Olympic appearance in Botswana.
There we go. So much to play for. But they really do look the part. I think I was very much impressed by Sarah, who scored a brace in the earlier match. Also Christina, Sylvia. There's quite a few players that, you know, Madagascar unveiled in this particular tournament. For Mauritius, Ramaswamy Jerusha came out. He's very quick off the line. It's another player that Gopal is another player.
Katuta for me in defense.
Katuta. So it will be interesting to see the best 11 in the knockout stages. And how wonderful it will be to see a player from Mauritius. There's still lots of football to be played. Group C, Angola, Comoros and Zambia. Then you've got Group D, which has Lesotho, Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe have a fantastic team in Herentals Queens that plays some brilliant football. They, I'm sure, have brought a number of players from Herentals Queens all grace this particular tournament. So looking at this groups and looking at the teams and knowing some of the players, we're definitely in for one of those weeks or 2 weeks where we'd get to see some fantastic football being dished out. We have 14 teams in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's the 14 teams fully represented by COSAFA.
Fully represented
for the first time in a long time. Wow! Well done to the working group and all involved, the administrators involved in COSAFA, in making sure that we get to see what is happening in those parts of the world, like your Seychelles, your Madagascar, your Mauritius. Normally, those are the teams that even Lesotho over time was struggling to make their way to this particular tournament.
So definitely kudos to the federations as well.
4 minutes to go to the 90. It's Machawe with the long range. Given the response, there's no qualms about who's their long range specialist. Machawe. And she packs it with the pace, but it is intercepted, and that was a little too far for Machawe.
Yeah.
But look, I've seen some beautiful goals coming from Machawe. Talking about beautiful goals, as a player goes down in the box, and a flag going up as quickly as. That's the ball, it's a long one, and definitely in an offside position. 5 offsides. So Botswana get an opportunity to send numbers forward. Wobbling in the air, needs a player to just put the foot down. So Simwaka collecting that ball and playing it back and looking for a little bit of a build from the back and getting it into the middle, something they haven't done in a long time. Faith Chinzimu sends a long ball up front, maybe 1-2 passes, and then looking for that long ball. Anxiety stepping in. Modise, down she goes. Yaone Modise. Under pressure to force some of the mistakes. Yaone Modise brought on to do exactly that, to stop the attack, stop the build-up of Malawi right in their half. It's a throw in. Being helped up to the front, and Mogabo Mile is the player that has continued to be full of running. There's another player that is grimacing in pain just out of your picture on the right hand side. It looks like Faith Chinzimu. She's holding her calf, and the stretcher being summoned on. Patricia Nyirenda is looking up, as well as Letitia Chinamula. Those are the players that continue to be concerned about Faith Chinzimu.
And you did speak about how important Chinzimu is to the team, just in terms of how versatile she is. Now, her defensive duties are putting her in this kind of position, whereas maybe throughout the competition you might need to reuse her up front.
That's a throw in of Faith, the trailing foot, and then she goes boom, boom, bang, and out. Down she goes. 90 minutes is done and dusted, and they are appreciating the football that has been on display. It is day 2 of this tournament, and you will get the young and old who would wait for the minute the bell rings, they out. And that does remind you of yourself. The minute the bell rings, you are out.
After school is after school.
After school is after school. These are some of the moments Botswana trying to battle it out. 5 minutes has been the standard additional time that has been given to all the players thus far in the opening stages. The earlier game also had 5 minutes. So when you talk about the goals that have been scored, South Africa winning by 1-0, and that was against
Namibia.
That was against Namibia. That was a fiercely contested match.
Yep.
And then you had Eswatini and Seychelles.
Yep. 6-0 scoreline.
6-0. So that's still the highest goal-scoring game, though, in Group A, and so far in the tournament.
Yeah, and Ngampalala in that Eswatini match with the first hat-trick of the tournament.
There we go. Botswana and Malawi are locked at 1-1 apiece. Madagascar, Mauritius, it's a 4-1.
Yeah.
That's the keeper who went to sleep, and that's the danger of being a keeper. You're so drawn into what is happening, and when they get that surprise strike, if you're not alert, it will punish you. That ball, Simwaka catching a number of players unaware, so the corner is for Malawi. They got to defend very carefully. They have the height as Malawi, and can they let us slip here in the closing stages? This will be a real smash and grab. Keeper comes out, doesn't get hold of it.
I thought with her experience, Sedilami could have really deployed one of her teammates to sort out one of the strikers who was just in front of her, just distracting and limiting her movements. She's still facing the sun as well, just to protect herself. But she's got 2 defenders in the box, in the goals actually, but not protecting her.
this is when you definitely need a goalkeeper of character, and that is why very often they say the goalkeepers are usually with the loudest mouths. They are great communicators. They would say things they don't mean because it's in the spur of the moment, so you got to forgive them. And there's the strike, and she will allow that ball all the way to get out of touch. But that is because they definitely want to organize. They definitely have a powerful voice. I'm not talking about myself, but I can relate.
I was about to ask, can you relate? And they don't like being scored.
That's my job gone.
True.
Ball in the air. Everybody just looking a bit bewildered. So that ball just... looking at Nancy Baialetsi. We had 5 minutes indicated by the referee. 4 minutes of those have already elapsed. Baialetsi has had a good day at the office. Nancy?
Yeah, I thought she gave a good account of herself, pairing up with Molloy as a double pivot in that midfield. And Molloy just with the presence of mind, every time Baialetsi is the one that pushes up to add numbers forward, Molloy just always doing the dirty work and anchoring that midfield.
Well, they're playing a bit of ping pong there with a golf ball. And, I'm sure one could prepare themselves for another interesting day, as one can look forward to Group C. Zambia up against Angola. That match is at 12. Mozambique and Zimbabwe as well is the other game tomorrow. That is at 3 o'clock. That is the fireworks at the Wolfson Stadium. So we have a date tomorrow. Do come and support the ladies. Here's Malawi with an opportunity to finish off rather strongly, but stopped in the track as Simwaka, and a little bit of a disappointment there for the Malawian outfit as the referee brings an end to this particular match with 1-1 being the scoreline. A game that is very evenly poised, having to share the spoils in this encounter. So Group B definitely showing a different picture that was not expected, as Madagascar will definitely take pole position. But what a good day at the office for Botswana, that is holding the defending champions to a 1-1 draw. It was a goal that was scored by Faith Chinzimu, a ball that Botswana failed to clear, and connecting very well to that, beating Bosija, and the equalizer coming from Laune Molloy for Botswana to bring us to this particular stage of Malawi 1, Botswana 1. It's an opportunity to look at the scorecard in terms of the statistics in this particular match, as one would look at the statistics and say, well, pretty much drawn down the line in terms of possession. You're looking at the standard situations, the corner count, Amanda, and you say Malawi dominated in that position, looking to make use of the height that they had. And then the shots that were taken, goal attempts that were taken, and a very, very high count. And in every match, there's always a player of the match. We'll go down to Banda, Itumeleng Banda, and she would unveil our player of the match.
Well, your wish is my command, Gloria, as we saw Malawi as well as Botswana play out to a 1-1 draw. Let's reveal to you the player of the match in this encounter. It is Faith Chinzimu from Malawi, and she'll be handed over her trophy by COSAFA Exco member as well as the chairman of competitions, that being Mr. Timothy Shongwe. She gets herself the beautiful trophy that she'll get to hold. Her team was celebrating with her. Faith, let's just find from you. Congratulations. How was that encounter for you?
It was really good, and I'm really thankful for it.
Let's talk about the role that you're playing in the national team. You're playing as a defender, but we do know that you also play as an attacking player. Let us know which position you prefer.
I prefer to be playing as an attack.
Yeah. So now adjusting into playing as defense, how hard is it for you or how easy is it?
No, it's not really hard because I believe that every player is supposed to play in every position on the pitch. Yeah.
How much pressure is there for the team knowing that you guys are the defending champions?
There's no pressure. Yes.
And are you delighted with the results from today?
Yes.
Alrighty, Faith, congratulations.
Thank you.
A woman of not many words, but man oh man, she is a baller. Her name is Faith Chinzima. Remember her, you're still going to see her within this competition. We'll now have a conversation with the coach of Botswana. Coach, a tough one, two different halves to the game. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was a difficult game for us, especially in the first half, in the sense that they couldn't allow us to build up with our goal kick situations, our standard situations. So they put us in a very awkward position. We were forced to play long. In the second half, we had moments where we played, but now it goes back to who will score a lot of goals to win the group. So we take a point and we fight in the next games. Yeah.
You talk about you not being able to control the game and you not being able to play the type of football that you're able to. At halftime, what was the conversation?
It was for us to keep going because we had the opportunities in the first half. We still did in the second half. With our subs, we tried to introduce players who were a bit speedy because they gave us the space behind, but we couldn't connect well. We got a lot of entries in the final third, but we couldn't finish them off. Work for us to work on before our next match.
Yeah. Those final third combinations, is it still a concern for you?
Still a concern. We didn't do enough of them. We did only a few. We did in moments. We need to be consistent with doing a lot of good actions.
Coach, will you take the point?
We take a point, but we have to fight in the next match.
Better luck.
Thank you.
That is the coach of Botswana saying that they could definitely do better. Coach Love Monai joins me. This is the coach of Malawi. Coach, your thoughts on this encounter? Your thoughts on the game, please.
Yeah, the game was very tough game, and these are the truth about the results. So 1-1 is not bad for us. Yeah.
Not bad for you as the defending champions. You look at the group right now, it's Madagascar sitting at the top. Does that apply any pressure, if any, and how does it make you feel?
No, we don't have any pressure that Madagascar is on top. That one, I think we know how to handle it. So we're not worrying about Madagascar and Mauritius. This is the game that was giving us a very, very much headache. So Mauritius and Madagascar, we'll handle them perfectly.
Coach, let's talk about this encounter. Obviously, in the first half, it looked like you had a bit more control. Second half, it was Botswana who had more possession. Let me know as to what the changes were, because we did see you make those tactical changes where you brought in more attackers within the second half with your subs.
Yeah, that's part of the game. You can play very well in the first half and have problems in the second half. So this is all about the game. I think the next game, we're going to improve on striking. We had problems with our up front, so we go back to drawing board and do a lot of finishing.
The positives that you'll take from this performance?
Yeah, good performance, and if we can play the way we play in the first half, I think we can easily reach the finals or semi-finals or finals.
Alrighty, Coach, and finally, I just want to know from you the versatility and the depth that you have within your team.
Yeah, we have the depth because we have good players, more from goalkeeper, defense, even midfield. But we had some problems with the strength force. We're having a striker coming tonight, so I think the next game we're going to do better.
Who is that striker, Coach, and where do they play?
Sabina Tom is in Jersey. He's playing for TP Mazembe. So he's getting tonight. So I think we're going to improve up front.
Will we be seeing Faith also switch positions?
Yes. I'm going to do that.
Alrighty, Coach. Well, congratulations on the point.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. That is Coach Lovemore giving us to the things that are taking place out in the Malawian camp. They have a striker from TP Mazembe who lands tonight, and he's saying that they have a lot of versatility. So the players that we saw today could be switched and inverted into other positions. As for Botswana, it's back to the drawing board because they want to make sure that they do so much better within the next game, because they believe that the team that will top this group is the team that scores the most games. Well, that is how Group B day does wrap up, Madagascar, wherever they are celebrating because they're sitting at the summit of the table. However, the action for today does sit as it is right now. Tomorrow we do continue because tomorrow we do have more action as we will be turning our attention to Group C. So you and I certainly have a date. This has been yet another day of the COSAFA Women's Championship. We continue tomorrow, but if you missed any of the action today, let's leave you with the highlights that took place. Ciao.
That is the second top goal scorer in the central region with 7 goals. But she is playing as a centre back. So again, there's the strike. Who's that? Faith Chinzimu. Just spoke about her. You can't even mention her name and then she scores.
Commentator's curse. Yeah, she showed the quality from earlier on. A well lifted ball into the box. With her technical ability, she takes a good strike, and that you can see a versatile player, but just the good actions that she does and converts this one home.
Latching on to a loose ball, Botswana were careless and not looking after the ball. Keeper was at full strength, and you can't deny Faith. Sapitwa needs a support play, and that is maybe an element of Adoba. Here she shows a bit of skill, and Radio Kanya, ball in the box, keeper! Beaten! We asked for the support play. Laone Moloi, she draws one back. 1-1 the scoreline. We'll be talking something else. The scoreline at this moment. You got to give credit to Doba Doba. She done well by whipping that ball in from the left-hand side, and it found Radio Kanyo. Radio Kanyo just whipping it in. And the goal there by Laone Moloi. Good comeback.
Good comeback indeed. Well orchestrated goal. We spoke about Botswana just pushing their line a little bit forward so that they get those numbers in attack. The sense of urgency of players like Ditebe, Rajokanye as well
towards the end of the 45, making life rather difficult. But here on the edge of the box and taking a snapshot is Catherine Kachala. What a way to announce yourself in Sikelo on the edge of the box. Oh, asking questions. Where are you? Sikelo. And
it's not just old beauty, huh?
There we go. Ball in the box. Machawe on the blind side. Good control. Botswana trying to eliminate players, and that was a stinger. And keeper just showing a quality.
On the blind side on the back post, she does really well to eliminate the opposition, fires a powerful shot, forces the goalkeeper for a save.